Welcome everybody to Life is Great New England. Over my shoulder I have a couple of trophies here, and to my right, your left, a sports trophy like nobody's business, Jon Meterparel. How are you, my friend?
A sports trophy. I got to tell you, I've never been called the Stanley Cup, but I'll take it.
You're a trophy host.
I am,
which means,
host.
you know, I bring you around because you're so good looking.
Oh, of course. Well, what would happen if I grabbed one of these and hoisted it above my shoulders right now?
Well, off camera, there's some very giant men that are built a little bit bigger than us that would probably take us down in a hurry.
I think they would, Chuck.
And you know, I don't really have ever had this experience before of coming here and seeing the field completely white, covered in snow. I only usually see it completely green in that bright Fenway green that you get so used to, covered in snow, and a little bit different of a sight.
Well, you know, as someone who used to hit home runs here on a daily basis, especially last July for the Jimmy Fund event, you know what it's like to play at Fenway, and it is weird, it is bizarre. As a kid, you walk into Fenway Park and you get that feeling of, you know what, this is renewal, this is pastoral. I hate to get all like Steve Buckley on you, but this is good stuff. I mean, Fenway Park is the epicenter of baseball.
Well, let's circulate around the room, meet some interesting people, and we'll bring a little baseball to you here on this cold, winter, snowy month. And, you know, why don't we kick it off? Life is Great New England starts right now.
Life is Great New England with hosts Chuck Nilasek and Jon Meterparel, showcasing New England's best entertainment, sports, and lifestyle. Life is Great New England. Only the good stuff.
All right, Meter, this is what I'm going to convince you to do. I think if we peel off our shirts, you and I, because it's Life is Great, and everybody wants to see one stunt per show, we go round the bases, shirtless, no shoes, sliding Pete Rose style in a home plate. What do you think? A little frostbite for the fans? What do you want? What do you think?
I can't take that bullet. I'm sorry. I'm just not mentally tough enough. But is this like one of the best backgrounds in sports up here?
A lot of people don't get to see Fenway in the wintertime covered in snow. It's actually it's peaceful. It's nice. I mean, you don't have the fans screaming, "You're a bum," all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's beautiful out here and a unique experience, to say the least.
Serenity Now hits Fenway Park in January, and Chuck, lucky Chuck, got to interview one of the Boston greats, Boston Herald sports columnist Steve Buckley, always chock full of baseball information.
I'm naming you Mr. Baseball. Is there anybody else we can attach that label to? I mean,
Meterparel tried to take it, but I kicked his butt, so that's off the table. So,
well, what do you think of this night? Pretty cool, huh?
I love this. I mean, I actually got my start covering college baseball in the early '80s. I covered the University of Maine baseball team for the Portland Press Herald up in Maine. I was in my mid-20s, and I got to go to the College World Series 2 years in a row. So that instilled in me a love of amateur baseball and college baseball, which has stayed with me all these years. And I went to UMass, but I followed BC baseball for a good number of years, and obviously to Mike Gambino very well. They have a great program over there.
Think back. I mean, how much has this area changed, and how do you think we're going to be going on to the next 10 years here?
Well, I mean, I think they're set in place for a good number of years. All four teams have good management and good ownership right now, which is key. And if you go back to the ALCS in 1999, Game 5, the Red Sox lost. They lost to the ALCS 5 games to the New York Yankees. We, as a collective fan base, went 2 years, 3 months, and 1 day without any of our pro sports teams playing a single playoff game. 2 years, 3 months, and 1 day until the snow game in January 2002, the Tuck rule, Vinatieri's field goal that beat the Oakland Raiders. That was the first playoff game since the 1999 ALCS. Since then, since that game, our teams have combined for 8 championships. 3 by the Pats, 3 by the Red Sox, 1 each by the Bruins and Celtics. And if you even take out the championships, think of how close our teams have come. The Patriots have lost 2 Super Bowls, 4 AFC title games. Celtics went to the NBA Finals against the Lakers, Eastern Conference Finals against Miami Heat. Bruins went to the Stanley Cup Finals. I mean, there have been so many close but no cigar finishes. It's been non-stop competitiveness now for 12 years running. It's great if you do what we do for a living.
All right, so let me ask you this question. Have you ever been to spring training? No, I'm kidding. I'm joking. So, we're going to be down there. We're going to be shooting some shows. And for people who are watching this who might want to consider a vacation, what's that like going down there for, the vacationer and somebody who might want to get a little taste of baseball midwinter?
I always tell people that the beauty of spring training is that the clock is reset. there are no negative stories in spring training. Everyone is going to have their best season. All the grudges and pettiness and injuries and failures in the previous season are forgotten. The uniforms are new, the grass is green. A lot of it sounds like cliche, but it's a really good time of year to celebrate baseball, to get out of the snow, and to watch baseball without really caring about what the outcome is going to be, because no manager plays a spring training game to win. You'll see guys jogging in the outfield during the game. You'll see impossible pitching matchups. Why did they pinch at this guy for that guy? Because they're just trying to get work for players. And you also, and this is another great thing about spring training, is that you'll get to see future stars. People who have gone to spring training in previous years saw Xander Bogaerts before he faced Jake McGee in that playoff game against the Tampa Bay Rays. They saw him in spring training. I always tell the story with Jonathan Papelbon long before he played in the big leagues. In a spring training game against the Baltimore Orioles, an Orioles pitcher had hit a Red Sox batter, and Papelbon, who had yet to play a big league game, came out the next inning. Sammy Sosa was up for the Baltimore Orioles, and Jonathan Papelbon drilled Sammy Sosa. He's a double-A pitcher, and he drilled, and we're like, whoa, what is this? And fans went home saying, oh, I know who Jonathan Papelbon is.
Yeah.
So that's the beauty of spring training.
Well, I was 10 years old and went in Arizona and saw the Oakland A's spring training and got a great picture of me with Mark McGwire pre-steroids. I started taking steroids after that, obviously, but during that picture, I was only 10. It's amazing. It's a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to being down there. And Steve Buckley, thanks for hanging with us on the show. And, we'll be watching you in the marathon. We'll be watching him down in spring training, and we'll take a break.
With a calendar.
Absolutely. We'll take a break. We'll be right back with more Life is Great New England in just a minute.
All right, so Steve Buckley always has a story. You learn something when you talk to Buck.
Absolutely. It was interesting to find out that he was a marathon runner, that he goes out and competes in the 26.2 every year, which, by the way, this will be a big one. Are we going to do it or what? I mean, everybody's going to be out there running.
I think I'll do 300 yards.
We'll miniaturize it. That's what we should do for the show.
Yes.
The abridged Cliff Note version of the marathon.
The abridged marathon.
26.2 feet. Meter and I are going to compete, and we're going to blow this thing.
I could be Rosie Ruiz.
Yes, that would be a great magical moment. Speaking of magic, Morgan's Magic. I mean, you remember that?
Absolutely. You kidding me? As a wee tyke watching Todd Benzinger hit a game-winning home run?
Well, you got the chance to talk to the man, Joe Morgan, who made all that happen. How'd that go?
It was awesome. It's always great to talk to Joe, and he is a BC baseball legend. This guy needs no introduction. One of the Red Sox legends, Joe Morgan, manager of the 1988 Impossible Dream Team, and now an observer of the Red Sox and BC baseball scene, also a BC Hall of Famer. Joe, what does BC baseball mean to you?
Well, I hoped we had a real good club a few years ago, and now they got to build up a little bit. But it is tough getting good players here in cold weather. That's the bit.
All right, as a former Red Sox coach and manager, you're sitting at home last year watching this team on their run. What were you thinking after that final out here at Fenway against the Cardinals?
Well, I was thinking first as I watched the team, I hope they make the playoffs. And then they got in the World Series and won the whole thing. So to me, it was a spectacular year. And why John Farrell wasn't manager of the year, I'll never know.
That was unbelievable. But you know all about teamwork, because in 1988, you rip off 19 out of 20 wins. And that's a team that no one expected to do anything. Did you think back to that year and say, you know what, we had something special going?
Well, it was pretty much the same thing, because no one expected the Red Sox to do it last year, and with me, it came out of the blue. What can I say?
It certainly did. And when you look at this park on a winter's night, you're a guy that used to drive a snowplow through Walpole. This is a special night for BC baseball to be here at Fenway.
Yeah, it is. It's very good. I think I've been here 3 times, and hopefully we'll get cranked up and have a good year. But all in all, it's good to be here.
And what's your advice for Mike Gambino this year, the BC coach?
I don't know. Win more than you lose, I guess.
6-2 and even.
6-2 and even.
All right, he's Joe Morgan. We're going to throw it now to Kaylee Bram with Mike Gambino.
So what does it mean for your team to be playing a World Series championship team like the Red Sox this year?
Yeah, it'll be fun. That's always a fun night for our program. It's a great tradition in our program. Our boys look forward to it all year, and they're going to be talking about it for the rest of the season.
And what does the future look like for the BC baseball program?
I love the last couple of recruiting classes we brought in. I love our 2014 class that we just signed in November. The younger kids that we have committed to us in our program right now, fit the mold of what we were looking for. We're looking for high character kids that are just as driven in the classroom as they are on the baseball field, people that are going to represent Boston College well, represent our alumni well, and that are good enough and talented enough to play in the ACC, and also tough enough to handle playing in the Northeast and be a Northeast team in a Southern Conference. So, we're filling our roster with those kids. I love where we're going right now, and I love where it's going to be in the future.
Great.
Here with the BC baseball captain, John Hennessy from Andover, Mass. And John, this is a special night for the program. What does it mean to you?
It's just great to see all the alumni come back and all the donors come out and really support the team. And it's a huge night for us. Great to see all the support, and we're really excited to have everyone here.
Now, this is a year where I know good things are expected. You had a rebuilding year last year. What's it looking like?
We got a lot of young guys with a lot of talent, and we ended last year on a really positive note, so we're hoping to carry that momentum into this year, and things are looking really good right now.
You guys got a great trip coming up. You're going to California, then you go to Fenway South to play the Red Sox. Those type of moments must be very special for a BC player.
Oh, it's awesome. It's unforgettable. The trip out to California will be my first, and the trip to Fenway is always a lot of fun to play on the diamond with a lot of the big league guys and get a lot of fans out there, so we're really excited for it.
Now, what's it like as a BC baseball player? You're at a bit of a disadvantage because of the weather conditions. ACC is one of the toughest conferences in the country. When you were going to make your school selection, did you think about that at all?
I know BC has so much to offer between athletics, academics, and just the culture itself. It's a great opportunity as a student athlete to be a part of something special like this, and we use what people call our disadvantages as an advantage to build off and be mentally tougher and have the character that we have as a team to use that to our advantage throughout the season.
Peter Frates is one of the guys that will be honored here tonight. Your director of baseball operations. What does he mean to the program?
Pete's just an inspiration to all of us. He's a Bird Ball member, he's an alum, and he's an unbelievable guy. He's a true inspiration to all of us, and he's really part of the team, and he helps us fight every day and know kind of what we're fighting for.
It's an incredible story. He's Jon Hennessy. Good luck this year.
Thank you very much.
He is the executive of the year in my mind. There's no doubt about it. Ben Cherington, after an outstanding season, Red Sox go to the World Series and win the World Series. And Ben, what was going through your mind about this team on day one and then from the end of the year?
Well, I think in spring training, we thought we were going to be good. We don't talk as much about outcomes. You don't know exactly what's going to happen. But I think our longest losing streak was 3 games, which is pretty unheard of in baseball. So once we got into the season, they started winning. I think they started to believe in themselves, and they just decided that, all right, we got a chance to do something special, and we're going to take advantage of it. And sure enough, they did.
In the aftermath now, a couple months later, when you look at the highlights from last year, what do you reflect on and say, man, that was the moment we all came together?
Unfortunately, there was a tragic event in Boston early in the year that galvanized, in a way, the fans and the connection with the team, and that was a bit of a rallying point for the guys.
Koji Urihara was an unbelievable pickup. Flew under the radar when you grabbed him, but now he's one of the best closers in baseball, if not the best closer in baseball. Did that surprise you, his renaissance period?
Well, we weren't surprised that he was good, because he's been good his entire career. Even going back to Japan, he was a very successful pitcher in Japan. He's been successful since he came to the States. If we had known how good he was going to be, he would have been in the role to start the season.
All right, now a couple weeks from spring training, obviously some retooling in the offseason with Ellsbury gone to New York. That's a big hit, but I know you're confident you can fulfill that loss. And when you look at this team right now, how do you feel about it?
We feel good. We know that our goal internally in the organization is to build a team that can be good every year. It's not to focus on any one particular year. So in order to do that over time, you have to, at some point, integrate young players.
What does New England college baseball mean to the Red Sox?
Well, first of all, we have a very strong relationship with BC, the entire school. But the baseball program in particular, it's the major program in Boston, so we follow it. But when they moved to the ACC, we were like standing up and cheering, because it's great for us to have an ACC program in Boston.
Great. And why is your life great in New England?
Well, mostly because of my family, but as far as the job is concerned, I get to work with a lot of really good people, and ultimately we get to be a part of something that matters a lot to people in New England, and we don't take that lightly, so it's a privilege as long as I've been here for 16 years, and as long as I'll be here, and who knows how long that is, but I'll always, see it that way. It's a privilege to be a part of the Red Sox, part of something that people care about.
Well said, Ben Cherington. Good luck this year.
Thank you so much.
Win another one.
We'll try.
All right, welcome back to Life is Great New England. It's a rose amongst thorns. Boston College Athletic Director Brad Bates with us on
interesting metaphor.
On a special night. Yes, it is, but a special night for BC baseball, and very significant, of course, because we're at Fenway Park on a winter's night. Any place else you would rather be?
No, the symbolism is just oozing throughout the walls and on the field. It's great to have all the alums here, the parents of our players and the team, and all the supporters for the program. It's just a big night. What makes this special is every dollar spent tonight is an investment in our students' development.
Well, Meter, you sit up in that booth every Saturday, those home games. I mean, you see the enthusiasm. I mean, it's second to none. I mean, did you get that experience, that college football experience up here in New England?
It's infectious, and of course, college basketball as well. And a great moment here in a couple of years is going to be BC Notre Dame playing at Fenway Park. It would be the first football game at Fenway in more than 40 years, Brett.
Yeah, how about that? I'll have seen more non-baseball events at Fenway in the next couple of years. We had hockey here a few weeks ago. We got the football game coming up. And what most people don't realize, the BC people do, this used to be our home field.
Yeah.
So we're really looking forward to that opportunity to have Notre Dame in Boston in a couple of years in a short period of time is going to be a lot of fun.
And I'm going to get Chuck out to the UMass game at Gillette Stadium next year. August 30th is the football opener, so we'll be Life is Great in New England at Gillette Stadium to watch BC UMass, and that's an important game for BC, Brad, because it's a rivalry that you like to keep in your backyard.
And a lot of history between the two institutions. Be a lot of fun playing where the Patriots play. I know our students are very excited about it, and really to have your 4 non-conference games all in Boston.
Yeah.
We're really excited about the football schedule this fall.
Brad Bates, BC Athletic Director, thanks so much.
Thank you guys very much.
Let me ask you, Meter, because I know with that interview that you probably were bringing up some of my skills. I'm a triple threat out there. I've got speed, power at the plate, and what's the other tool that I have?
You're the original 1-2 player.
Yes, and I can sing and dance. So what does that make me?
That's like 7 tools.
So I hope when we go down to spring training, he's going to give me a look. That's all I want to look.
I told Ben, I said he's the next Xander Bogaerts. Without the hitting, without the fielding, without the speed.
Well, that was a really cool interview, and all I can say is I'm getting fired up for spring training. It's going to be a lot of fun. The temperature is dropping here, but when we're down there, it's a balmy 81 degrees.
Oh
right?
yeah, 83, 85. It's Fort Myers, man. You can't complain. We'll be back with more of Life is Great New England.
Well, you can't do a BC baseball night without having these two special people here. These are parents of Peter Frates, the Director of Operations for the baseball team. Am I getting that right?
You sure are.
And, one of the things that we really pride ourselves on here is all of the great inspirational people and the stories that make New England so special. And your son, Peter, is a great example of that. And you maybe give us a little background on who he is and, what you're going through.
Well, Pete went to St. John's Prep up in Danvers, and he was a 3-sport star, and his life dream was to go to Boston College, where Nancy and I both graduated, and he was fortunate enough to be discovered by Coach Pete Hughes for the baseball team, and he played all 4 years, captaining the team in 2007. In fact, he hit a home run right here in a college game against Harvard at Fenway Park, so that was such an incredible moment. And was struck by the pitch about maybe 2 years ago now, and his left wrist went numb. He had it checked out the normal routine way, and maybe 6 months into it, they came to us with this terrible diagnosis of ALS, or Lou Gehrig's disease. And typical Pete, he sat us down and said, there is not going to be any wallowing with this disease. We are going to be upbeat and live each and every day to the greatest and fullest that we can.
I mean, what is it like as a parent? I mean, to have to go through that.
You go through life, you see stories, you watch shows, and people always talk about their life changing in a minute, and that's what happened with us. It took us a while to absorb it. It took a while to come out of it. But I have to say, Pete's always been that motor that keeps us going. I mean, we're as close as you possibly can be as parents of a child going through a disease, but we don't have ALS. Mm-hmm. Pete has ALS. And to see him face every day with positivity and inspiration and smile and life, that's what we do.
And every time I've met him, a few times, big smile on his face. I mean, he's always happy. He's a human being. He's got to have his ups and his downs, and I know he's got a beautiful wife. How are they doing?
He's struggling physically, but mentally he's still such an inspiration. And to be here tonight with Boston College, who immediately reached out to him, Mike Gambino called him into his office the week of his diagnosis and said, I need you to be with the team. You are now our director of operations, and you're traveling with the team. And obviously the traveling has become a little bit more challenging. Let's also talk about the Red Sox. The Red Sox have always reached out to Pete, checking on him. How's he doing? And the ALS awareness games that they do for Pete and all others of New England has been really terrific for us.
Well, what you're going to feel, I think, is a dose of what millions of people in New England are going to do, which is going to pray for you and your family all at once when they see this. Because, you know, as parents, as sports fans, as citizens of New England, I mean, I can say this for the people that are out there. I mean, we care about each other. And
well, just to say, we are the luckiest family. We are a very blessed, lucky family, and like you said, the New England community is unbelievable.
You know, these two here and the Frates family are examples of what it's really like to have, greatness, and we thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight, and you're in our prayers.
Thanks
thank
so
you,
much.
Chuck.
All right, you're welcome. You know, Meter, everyone always gets jealous all the cool things we get to do. We're out obviously standing here looking with Fenway Park over our shoulder, but I want the people at home to know it's freezing cold out here. It's not always glamour and glitz. I mean, I'm freezing.
It's so cold I want to hug Chuck right now. I just need some bodily warmth, and I don't have it right now.
I'm giving him the green light. I'm giving you the green light. Go ahead, move right in, and maybe we should...
I like you, but not that much.
Let's wrap the show up so, you know, the people at home can wonder whether or not he reached out and hugged me. Thanks so much for, you know, bringing me out tonight. This is a lot of fun.
Oh, you kidding me? Thanks for being here. Thanks to all of the Boston baseball family that embraced us, the BC baseball family, including Mike Gambino, including Joe Morgan, including everybody at Boston College. Just tremendous hospitality and a great event.
And check us out on Facebook, on Twitter. We have a YouTube channel because we have all the clips that don't make it on the show lined up there. And we know that, you know, people want to follow us day by day. It's not just a once a week kind of thing. They need their fix.
You need your dose of Nilesec every day of the week. I can't live without it.
I can't live without my meter either. We'll see you next week. Thanks for joining us on Life is Great New England.